What is going on, guys? Insane Juggernaut back with another video. Got something a little different for you guys, man. I don't do this a lot, so whenever I do get the opportunity to do it, it's something I really love to do. So we got a nice little discussion video for you guys today, man. And what I want to talk about is the future of Madden Mobile. Um, this isn't a projections thing based on financial statistics or anything. I was looking at a lot of that stuff, just because you know, um, the outlook for mobile gaming is really important to me, and the amount of revenue that EA has been able to generate from mobile gaming is kind of fantastic. Just looking at the numbers, they're projected to get 660 million in revenue just from mobile gaming alone. So it's kind of insane because I feel like games like Madden Mobile, obviously FIFA, I think has the biggest impact on their mobile revenue. NBA Mobile as well. Uh, they set the blueprint for games like Fortnite, who specifically generate the most revenue from in-store packs. This year in particular, EA has had so many 10K packs, as you can see here. They're always offering 120 overall players for 10,000 Madden cash now, and a lot of people complain about it, but it's honestly a smart business move. I can honestly see the reason why their in-game purchases have gone higher than ever this year. But we're not talking about the financial aspect of it at all. What we're actually looking at is how can the gameplay aspect grow anymore? And it's actually something I've been sitting back and thinking about. So next year, uh, they're gonna come out with Madden Overdrive, which is their transition into next generation gaming on the mobile device. So it's a huge thing, and next year is going to be heavily gameplay influenced. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of glitches. There's going to be a lot of things in their system that they have to work on. A lot of kinks. Probably a lot of updates to fix issues that we're going to have because it's kind of like when the Xbox One had its first iteration of Madden, and everybody thought it was going to be a big deal. And they had to fix a lot of kinks because while Frostbite looked great, the gameplay was really choppy. It didn't feel very well. So the point I'm trying to make here is Madden NFL Overdrive is a year that EA is taking to set itself up for the long haul. And I think it's honestly a smart move on their part. You have to realize that they were gonna have to make the transition at some point. The graphics. I'm honestly fine with the graphics, but at some point there was gonna have to be a year where they decided we're gonna have to focus on transitioning into a whole different space as far as graphics go. And now we're in a situation where, while next year might not be the best game, we're setting ourselves up for the long haul. They're experimenting with coaches in different ways, and how they actually want to go about making them have a huge impact. Um, game plans, game plans aren't going to be here next year. Uh, Not sure if EA is 100%, all in on that decision, or that if that's something they're going to change. But my question would be, so what's next? What is EA going to do the year after Overdrive? Let's say the fans hate Overdrive, right? They just absolutely hate Overdrive with a passion. What's next? What's the marketing ploy for the year after that? When I think of the marketing ploy for this, I think of the videos that the Game Changers put out. A lot of it was generally in the realm of the new overface. They were marketing that mobile master Tom Brady. Training players was the biggest marketing tool that came out of the promotion process for Madden NFL Mobile, or Madden Mobile 18 to a lot of us, but the game is called Madden NFL Mobile. That was the biggest, marketing ploy that they decided to take when it came to Madden NFL Mobile. And we have to think, coming now to this point, did training live up to the hype? And I say that it did live up to the hype. I think what EA was trying to do with training was find some way to kind of drain out coins out of the market for the first half of the year. When you train players, they weren't auctionable. People, as a result, had to stick with their players for the long haul. They had lower coin counts unless, they were buying coins, which EA put a stop to fairly quickly. Started selling coins for a little bit. We'll get into that later. But they put a stop to coin selling, and all obviously the cash hacks and things of that nature. But overall, first half of the year they drained coins out of market, so as a result, people had to make more in-game purchases, and I honestly think that was a flawless move by EA. Second half of the season, obviously, it was a point where they had to kind of tweak the process because there was only so much they could do to keep coins out of the market. So they allow you to cut players and re-auction them. But for the first half of the season, they definitely made sure that people had a limited amount of coins and that they were making as many purchases as they could. So back to what we're looking at. What do I think that Matt Mobile will be marketing the year after Overdrive? I have no idea, and I don't think that they have any idea either. They could be considering a lot of things, but you have to realize a reason why Madden NFL Overdrive is deciding that they want to go in the direction of marketing gaming is because it seems to consumers that it's something that EA has neglected for a long time. I don't remember a year where gaming or the in-game play of players was something that EA marketed, except for I remember at one point they were like guys who are different sizes is actually going to show up in the game now, but did it actually show up? Not really. So what am I really saying here? The point is that next year is going to be a year that EA builds off of for the next 5 to 10 years, right? So, and I know 10 years is a stretch, but when you look at the revenue that these mobile games are generating, I don't think it's much of a stretch. I think EA is in mobile for the long haul now. Just looking at it, their revenue would take so much of a dip without mobile gaming being roughly 15 to 20% of their revenue. It's actually extremely impressive, being that they do have a revenue of over 5.5 billion yearly, total, and for mobile gaming to be that much of a percentage of it is extremely impressive. But the point I'm trying to make here is so next year, right? Head to head is going to be in real time. You have a situation where we're going into a whole new realm for how defenses are going to be playing. Gameplay, graphics are marketed heavily. If you look at the trailer, this is the first trailer I've ever seen where it's literally all gameplay. So we're in a position where EA is going to have a lot of kinks in how you can control the way your defense plays. There's going to be kinks in how smooth the gameplay is. And there's also going to be, no playing friends in head to head. There's a lot of different things and different paths that EA is taking with the game this year. And I don't think all of them will resonate well with users. And if they do resonate well, I think there's going to be flaws. So I think the year after that, EA could be marketing. Oh, our gaming from the year before is more refined this year. I think it's going to be a lot of toning of what they set out to do for this season, but I don't see any innovation coming from EA after this. I definitely don't see any innovation at all, and that's the whole point of Madden Overdrive. You don't take a leap this big to be in a situation where you're like, all right, next year we're doing something totally different. That just doesn't make any sense. EA is setting itself up for the long haul here. I think it's a great decision. I think you're going to see something similar to this in FIFA and NBA Mobile sooner rather than later, where they're going to take a year to focus specifically on making a huge transition in gameplay and graphics in particular. And now they set themselves up where they can refine, the gaming side, or just the gameplay as a whole. And if they choose to add one or two new features, as far as finding some way to get up in-app purchases somehow, training. They sold training items heavily in the first few weeks of the game. A lot of bundle toppers were like 10K training cards. So that was a marketing ploy to get in-app purchases up, whether you noticed or not. So everything they're doing is that's not from the gameplay side is to get in-game purchases to go up somehow to appreciate. So think it'll cover two. So I think next year. So I think next year, obviously they're gonna focus on gameplay heavily. Do I think that this revenue that they've made from this season is attainable next year? I think EA is gonna be a little disappointed with their quarterly earnings. Once the game releases, I think Q4 is gonna be a little disappointing to them, but I think they will be able to rebound in the first quarter of 2019 for sure. From the basis of people are going to get used to what NFL Overdrive is trying to do, because a lot of people don't see it as something you have to get used to, but it is a big deal, and it's going to be a huge transition for not only us but for EA as a whole. So I think it's a great decision by them to focus heavily on gameplay and allow everything else to be second nature for at least this year. And in the long haul they can go back to doing what they're doing, but they're going to have to upgrade the gameplay side of things at some point, and it makes so much sense for them to do this. So just a little bit of my thoughts there. I think EA is playing a masterful strategy. Obviously the mobile gaming sector is something that they have been dominating, as well as a whole gaming and software sector in particular. But the effect that mobile has had on it, it's the future of gaming. The revenue of companies coming from add-ons and in-game purchases instead of charging a set price for a game. You know, uh, Obviously, I feel like in-app purchases is something that's going to keep going and going forever. If you have a consumer that has made tons of in-app purchases in Madden Mobile 17 as well as Madden NFL Mobile, that consumer is more than likely to make in-game purchases in Madden NFL Overdrive and the Madden Mobile after that. So you have to focus heavily on in-app purchases. And, I think it's a business model a lot of people are going to see. We're going to see games similar to Fortnite, going on sale for free and, just focusing heavily on in-app purchases and trying to get revenue through that stream. So, uh, moral of the story, Madden NFL Mobile is a pioneer for all other mobile games. I know in-app purchases is something that people have been doing for years, but Madden Mobile has perfected it. When you look at just June of 2018 alone, and this is just for Apple, for iPhone devices, they've had 200K downloads and 2 million revenue in just June. And, June is usually one of the lighter years on the revenue side of things for Madden Mobile. Not only Madden Mobile, but all Madden games, all mobile games that EA has. So it's pretty impressive, if you ask me, to be generating this amount of revenue just from Madden Mobile, just on one device in June, which is the slowest year. So Madden Mobile is going to continue to dominate. You know, that much is obvious. Uh, we should see a lot of refining of the overdrive cycle, and it's gonna be fun to watch, man. So, you know, Madden Mobile was here for the long haul, and you know, we're gonna, as consumers, be able to kind of see them continue to develop year after year. So it's pretty interesting. So I think we're gonna stop the video there. It's been your boy Insane Joe with another video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. All that means the world to me. Catch you on the next video. Peace.